Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us today. I am NIN.VC, and I will be your host. Before we dive into agenda for today, let's start with my background so you know where it's all coming from. I started my professional career at Merrill Lynch with their private client group. At Merrill, we manage portfolios of high net worth individuals. While it was great to trade stocks and bonds, I was always curious about how these companies went public. Thus, after business school, I joined Pacific Crest Securities. PCS is a tech-focused investment bank with a global presence focused on software, communications, internet, and digital media, and others. Here are a few transactions I worked on at PCS. In 2005, IPOs were at the peak, and it was amazing to take all these companies public. But that led to another question. How do VCs know what companies to invest in and which ones to take public? Thus, I joined Alpha Capital Partners. Alpha is a generalist fund with about $135 million of assets under management. My most recent transaction at Alpha was Circon, a software-as-a-service provider company. On April 2, 2012, President Obama signed into law the Jumpstart Our Business Startup Act, or the Jobs Act, which enables crowdfunding for all Americans. And that's how NIN Ventures came into existence. Crowdfunding is the practice of funding a project or venture by raising contributions from a large number of people, typically via the internet. NIN Ventures is a first-of-its-kind technology venture capital fund to be marketed, raised, managed, and reported online. The general solicitation and general advertising under the Jobs Act and Rule 506C of the U.S. Securities Act made it possible for us to raise this fund. This rule came into effect September 23, 2013, and we were the first ones to go live with a website and videos about our fund. NIN Ventures also became the first venture fund to be seen on a billboard, which was followed by in-taxi ads and other social media facilitated marketing. Now a little bit about the fund. What is NIN Ventures Technology Fund? We are a next-generation technology venture capital fund that invests in Series A and B rounds of disruptive technology companies. We write checks anywhere from $1 to $5 million based on industry, sector, and stage. NIN.VC has been the recipient of numerous awards, and I've also been awarded 2015 CEO of the Year Illinois for innovation and contribution to the venture capital and private equity industry. Thanks to the Jobs Act and Rule 506C, if you are an entrepreneur raising capital currently, you have options. For example, you can choose to work with a venture capital firm or go the crowdfunding route. The crowdfunding industry has grown from $16 billion in 2014 to an estimated $34 billion in 2015 and is doubling or more every year. The market is flooded with various types of crowdfunding options like donations, rewards, lending, equity, royalty, and even hybrid versions. The two most popular types of crowdfunding methods are reward and equity. For reward-based crowdfunding, entrepreneurs pre-sell a product or service to launch a business, and sometimes even in return for gifts or thank you notes. For example, Pebble Technology Corporation used Kickstarter to raise $10.3 million in order to develop the Pebble smartwatch and pre-sold it to contributors. For equity crowdfunding, the backer receives share of a company, usually in exchange of the money pledge. For example, Neil Young used Crowdfunder to raise $6 million in order to continue development on Pono Music. If you're an entrepreneur that's just looking for financing, crowdfunding is a good option. However, if you're looking for somebody to add value to your business, NIN.VC and venture capital is the way to go. VCs not only provide adequate financing, but also lend their domain expertise and network of partners to help companies with recruitment, PR and marketing, and a viable exit strategy. At this point, I would like to make a statement and say the best entrepreneurs and companies almost always get funded. And it all starts with a disruptive technology. A disruptive technology is an innovation that changes an existing industry and helps create new value network, displacing earlier technology or way of doing business, just like how we're changing the venture capital industry. Every sector at some point is up for disruption. Our focus for 2016 is primarily on 3D printing, fourth industrial revolution, cloud computing, virtual reality, financial services, education software, mobile communications, and other path-breaking sectors within the United States. Our goal is to invest in the next big trends within these sectors. At NIN.VC, we start with an entrepreneur. We invest in an entrepreneur because entrepreneurs build companies and not the other way around. Being an entrepreneur is the hardest job in the world, and entrepreneurs face various challenges when it comes to taking their disruptive technologies to market. The few attributes that we look for in an entrepreneur is the ability to dream big, experience and expertise in their industries, ability to communicate with the team and outside, flexibility to adapt to a fast-changing environment, and personality traits like being focused, dedicated, disciplined, and working hard to accomplish their goals. As long as the company has certain ingredients like a good management team, a disruptive technology, a viable product, and a revenue-generating strategy that form a basic foundation that leads to long-term success. We at NIN.VC like to invest in companies that are going to stand the test of time. When it comes to financing, entrepreneurs can choose to go the hybrid route, where you have a combination of venture fund and crowdfunding platform syndication. At NIN.VC, we have various such arrangements in place. However, if you're looking for someone to add value to your business, NIN.VC and VCs together can be a good option as well. NIN.VC has the best of both worlds for the entrepreneurs and investors. According to Wealth and Finance International, NIN.VC is currently the best in funds for 2016. In general, most people have a three-dimensional portfolio: stocks, bonds, and money market. But if you look at Harvard and Yale, their portfolio is four-dimensional, which is taking the long-term approach and investing in alternatives like venture capital. This long-term approach and investments in alternatives helps achieve true diversification and also helps mitigate the risk involved in having only a stock and bond portfolio, which is why Wealth and Finance kind of considers us as the best in funds currently. Now the question is, why venture capital when you can invest in other asset class? Historically, if you look at U.S. Venture Capital Index and S&P 500, you'll notice U.S. Venture Capital Index tends to outperform S&P 500. And not only that, they have an inverse relationship. This is generally applicable to other alternative investments as well. So now the question is, why early stage technology venture capital? If you notice, from 2002 to 2012, technology investments have dominated the venture capital industry. The highest amount of venture capital funding occurred in the early to expansion stage companies. If you notice, from 2004 to 2013, sector-focused funds have outperformed generalist funds. And the technology sector has outperformed the rest of the U.S. Venture Capital Index, with early and expansion stage companies yielding the highest returns. So how can you be a part of entrepreneurship at NIN.VC? Recently, the SEC approved Title III Jobs Act equity crowdfunding for non-accredited investors, which allows any U.S. citizen, regardless of their income, to make direct investment via a crowdfunding portal. However, investment in funds like ours is still limited to accredited investors. One must be an accredited investor and verify themselves as an accredited investor before they can invest in the NIN Ventures Technology QP Fund. An accredited investor is an individual with an income of more than $200,000 per year, or joint income of $300,000 in each of the last 2 years, or has a net worth exceeding $1 million either individually or jointly with his or her spouse, excluding the primary residence. For an entity, any trust with total assets of $5 million qualifies. There are multiple ways to verify if you are an accredited investor: income, asset, and third-party verification, For entity, it's asset and third-party verification. So what are multiple ways of investing at NIN.VC? There's a wide range of options when it comes to investing with NIN.VC using your checking, savings, defined benefit plan, self-directed IRA, and digital currency. A defined benefit plan is a retirement plan that can invest in a wide range of securities and investment products, including venture funds. Some of the advantages of investing from a defined benefit plan are all contributions made to the plan and subsequently invested are top-line tax deductible to the business, whether the business structure is sole proprietorship, LLC, LLP, PC, C Corp, or S Corp. The investment growth is tax-deferred under the umbrella of the defined benefit plan. The contributions might be significantly greater than the 401k profit-sharing plan to help increase the retirement savings account for the business owner. To invest in NIN ventures using defined benefit plan, you must first sign up on NIN.VC, verify you are an accredited investor. Next step is to establish a defined benefit plan with Robin Weingart & Associate or an provider of your choice. Once the plan is established, the contribution is calculated and you can complete the subscription and payment process on NIN.VC. We also let investors invest in our fund using retirement plans, for example, self-directed IRA. Self-directed is a term that is used to describe how some IRA providers administer the assets they hold. With a self-directed IRA, client controls their IRA. Self-directed IRA allows investors to hold alternative assets within their tax-deferred retirement plans, such as private placements in venture capital, like ours. Like any IRA investment, a self-directed IRA has built-in tax-deferred growth, and thus an individual will not pay capital gain taxes on the growth of the investment. The return will flow back to the self-directed IRA and will not be taxable to the account holder. The self-directed IRA allows for true diversification that is otherwise not achievable in a standard IRA portfolio. To invest in NIN.VC with your self-directed IRA, you must first sign up on NIN.VC, verify you are an accredited investor. Next step is to establish an account with interest group or a provider of your choice. Once the plan is established, you can complete the subscription and payment process on NIN.VC. Digital currencies like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin are emerging as a new form of alternative payments and a global currency. We at NIN.VC understand the significance of this change. Thus, we have teamed up with Snapcard to let digital currency owners tap into venture capital. We allow digital currency owners to attend liquidity via Snapcard in return for an investment in NIN Ventures Technology QP Fund. Now let's go through this investment process step by step in detail. The very first step is to sign up on NIN.VC, and sign up is simple. It's first name, last name, email, password, and acknowledge that you are an accredited investor. Once you sign up, you get access to our marketing materials, that is PPM, investor presentation, and other suggested reading. You also get invited to attend our calls and meetings like this one. You can schedule a one-on-one meeting with us at our office or online via Skype. Once you decide to make an investment, accept the risk and disclosure statement that will explain what venture capital is. The next step is to verify accreditation. Once that is in order, it's only a matter of filing a subscription document and a W-9 form. The step is payment, and it's as simple as selecting the payment method and the amount you wish to choose. Please note that venture capital is a high-risk, high-reward investment vehicle, and we strongly recommend reviewing our other suggested readings on our website before making any investment decisions. Unfortunately, we don't have time for questions today, but feel free to reach us at contact@nin.vc or 312-953-0930 to schedule a one-on-one meeting or with any questions or material requests that you might have. Once again, thank you for being on the call. Sign up on NIN.VC to begin your investment process. Have a wonderful day and happy investing.